Hey guys, so yeah, I just wanted to do an audio recording. If you're, traveling in the car or whatever, this is kind of a good thing to do. Sometimes, it's a little easier than watching a video. But yeah, doing work searches. Will kind of keep going on from yesterday. Doing a work search in Indeed is fairly simple to do. Again, just go to the search area and pop in search terms like desktop support, help desk, desktop technician, help desk technician, uh, PC technician, things, those terms like that are probably your best bet for a starter IT technical kind of support. And you could even use IT technical support. The reason why I say to use desktop support or desktop tech or something like that, or PC tech, desk side tech is another one. If you use terminology like that, those are the common terms that you're going to see used in the IT industry for entry level positions that are non coding positions. Now, again, I say non coding positions that pay anywhere from I would say 50,000 and up. Some of those roles can pay up to 80 if you're lucky. Generally, those roles aren't going to pay um, probably much more than 80, and that's going to be more on the senior end. So, like a senior desktop or a senior help desk tech or whatever. That when you start getting into the senior titles, they're going to pay in the upper 70s to probably mid 80s if you're lucky. As far as mid 80s, probably early, the like 80,000 or maybe 83 if you're fortunate. Now there are companies that pay more than that sometimes, but it's just rare. It doesn't happen that much, so I don't want to give anybody's hopes. I don't want to give like hope that isn't really there. Okay. So, but that's still pretty good. I mean, if you're general labor right now and you're out there in the workforce working at Wendy's, or you're working at Walmart, and I'm not talking about in the corporate area, I'm talking about in the stores and the retail stores or the restaurants, whatever, and you're making like $12 an hour, that's a pretty good hike. So, I mean, $12 an hour is, not that much money. $15 an hour, I mean, it's like 30,000 a year, right? So when you start making 28, 25 an hour, then we're talking, the 50 or plus above, and that's very possible to do. Now you might have to start out in like 20 an hour, but still, that's still 40,000. That's still not bad, and you would only have to do that for probably 6 months to a year, and you could hop to another position and get up in the 50s or 60s. So it doesn't take long generally to get going. To be considered senior, it takes like 3 to 5 years. So if you started out as a desk side tech and you stayed in it for 3 years, you could apply for a senior position and increase your income usually anywhere from 10 to 20 grand. So non-coding jobs are out there. You don't have to code to make a decent living. Again, I want to repeat that. You don't have to code to make a decent living. There's a lot of propaganda, and that's what I think it is, really, is propaganda out there that says you have to know how to code to make a decent living. And that is not true. In fact, coders are underneath serious attack. They're being laid off like crazy. The no-code websites are getting more and more popular all the time. And so, the coders out there, the programmers, they're always going to be useful. They're always going to be valuable, but they're not as special as they used to be. Why? It's not because they're not smart, because they are. And I love programmers. This is not a diss on them at all. But what I'm saying is they're not as special as what they thought they were, because what's happening now is there's software that is extremely, I guess you could say, AI friendly, and also, it takes skill to use it, but the average Joe, if they spend enough time on it, can learn how to do it. Now, it still is kind of a heavy skill, even if you do no-code websites. Like there used to be Dreamweaver back in the day, and applications like that. But there's way better stuff than that now, like Wix and all this other stuff. And you can use these no-code websites to do a ton of work. Now, is coding going to be useful in those sites? Well, like for instance, WordPress.org. I mean, yeah, WordPress.org definitely not .com, but .org is definitely great if you know how to code, right? If you know how to code, it's still great because you can customize. So learning CSS, HTML5, and maybe even a little JavaScript is going to be helpful, and of course PHP because that's what WordPress is built on. So if you knew those 4 languages, or at least you just let's say you just know HTML, CSS, you could still do quite a bit. So I'm gonna stop there for now. I'm just saying, guys, the no-code websites, that's another skill you could learn, right? Learning Wix, learning WordPress, all those websites that are pretty big, those no-code websites. That would be a really good skill to learn on top of getting some basic certifications like A+ and stuff. So if you want to administer web servers, that would be a really cool thing to do, is to learn how to do WordPress, right? And WordPress really is just what they call a library. It's like it just makes things easier, so you don't have to code as much, right? It's a library is what it is. So you guys have probably heard of, in the coding terminology, you probably heard of React. Well, React is a library that essentially is a great name for that library because it makes the web page react, okay? And it's cool. So it's a good name for it. But long story short, I'm going to leave it at 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes now. I'm going to go ahead and cut the short. I'm going to try to keep the videos no longer than 10 minutes if I can do that. It's kind of hard to do at times, but I'm going to try to do that. I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope you have a great weekend. And again, I will do the best I can to try and help with a lot of the confusion out here and a lot of the challenges as well. So have a great day, and I really appreciate you guys tuning in once again today to listen to this. Please give a like, a share, subscribe, and have a great day. Bye-bye.